The stars were bright, shining far away in the endless sky. Many great empires of the galaxy lived there, with powerful ships and advanced technology. They ruled many planets, and they thought they were the strongest beings in the universe. But then the news came from a small blue planet called Earth. The humans there had built one ship, a small, simple ship compared to the giant fleets of the galaxy. It was not fast or strong. It was just one ship. The galaxy laughed. One small ship? From humans? That is a joke, they said. The great leaders and commanders looked at the news with mockery. They believed humans were weak and unimportant. How could one small ship from a small planet challenge the mighty galaxy? On Earth, the story was different. The people who built the ship worked hard for years. They wanted to explore space, to find new worlds, and to show the galaxy that humans were not weak. The ship was called the Pioneer. It carried a small crew of brave men and women. They were scared, but also full of hope. Captain Sarah stood on the bridge of the Pioneer. She looked at the stars through the big window. Her heart beat fast. She knew the galaxy was laughing at them, but she also knew that this ship carried the future of humanity. She spoke softly to her crew. "We may be small, but we are strong. We will prove them wrong." Back on Earth, millions watched the live broadcast of the Pioneer preparing for launch. Children, scientists, soldiers, and families all cheered. This moment was more than a mission. It was a dream. Meanwhile, in the far reaches of space, the galaxy's empires prepared to watch the humans fail. Commander Vorn, leader of the Galaxian fleet, sat in his command chair on the massive warship Dreadnought. He smiled coldly. "Send one ship? That is nothing. We will watch them try and fail." Vorn's fleet was huge, with hundreds of ships. The humans had no chance. The galaxy was safe, or so they thought. The Pioneer lifted off from Earth with a smooth roar. It moved slowly but steadily into space. The humans felt the excitement and fear at the same time. As they left the blue planet behind, the crew looked out at the stars, knowing they were stepping into the unknown. Days passed. The humans sent messages back to Earth, telling stories of space. The cold silence, the endless darkness, the beauty of distant stars. But the galaxy's empires continued to mock them. One of the alien empires, the Zalari, sent a message. "Humans will not survive the void. One small ship is not enough. They will fail, just like the others." The humans heard these words, but they did not give up. Engineer Malik worked hard to keep the ship running. "This ship may be old, but it has heart," he said. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up something strange. A shadow moved just outside their view. The crew tensed. "What is that?" asked Lieutenant Kim. Captain Sarah looked carefully. "We don't know. Stay alert." The shadow stayed close but did not attack. It followed the Pioneer quietly, like a silent watcher. Back on Earth, news spread fast. The galaxy's laughter turned into whispers of curiosity. Was something following the human ship? Was it danger or help? Captain Sarah decided to send a small drone to check. The drone moved toward the shadow and sent back images. What the crew saw surprised them. It was an unknown ship, old but powerful. The crew held their breath. "Why is it following us?" whispered Malik. The story was only beginning. The galaxy's laughter was about to turn into something else, a feeling they never expected. The humans, small and weak in the eyes of the galaxy, were ready to change the future. The Pioneer sailed deeper into space, leaving Earth further and further behind. The blue planet became just a small dot among millions of stars. The crew was quiet but determined. They knew the galaxy was watching, and still mocking them. Days passed. The Pioneer faced many dangers. Meteor showers flew past like deadly rain. The ship shook with every hit. Engineer Malik worked non-stop to fix small problems. "This old ship is holding up better than I thought," he said with a tired smile. But space was not only full of dangers, it was also full of mystery. One night, the ship's sensors picked up a strange signal. It was soft, but clear, a pattern of beeps and whistles that repeated. Lieutenant Kim stared at the screen. "Captain, someone is sending us a message." Captain Sarah frowned. "Is it friendly or a trap?" The crew waited nervously. The signal repeated again. It sounded like a code, but from who? No one on Earth could answer. The galaxy's empires watched from afar, laughing and betting that humans would soon be lost. Suddenly, the shadow ship from before appeared again. This time, it came closer. The humans held their breath. The shadow ship did not attack. Instead, it sent a message. The voice was strange, but calm. "We have watched your journey, humans. You are braver than we expected. Do not fear. We can help." The crew was shocked. "Who are you?" asked Captain Sarah. "We are the Lost Ones," the voice replied. "Long ago, we were strong like the great empires, but we disappeared. Now we watch those who dare to travel the stars." The Pioneer crew looked at each other. Help from aliens? Could they trust this? "We will decide," Captain Sarah said carefully. The Lost Ones offered technology to improve the Pioneer. They gave coordinates to hidden places where the humans could find supplies and shelter. The galaxy empires grew nervous. They had not expected humans to make allies. Commander Vorn frowned. "This changes everything," he muttered. But the humans did not have time to worry. A bigger challenge waited. One night, the Pioneer's alarms rang out. Sensors showed a huge asteroid field ahead, a deadly maze of rocks and ice. "Prepare for danger!" Captain Sarah shouted. The crew worked fast. Pilots moved the ship carefully through the field. Rocks smashed near the hull. The Pioneer shook, but it did not break. Suddenly, a loud crash. One engine was damaged. Engineer Malik worked with sweat on his face. "We must fix it or we'll be trapped here." The crew held their breath as Malik repaired the engine. Finally, the ship roared back to life. They escaped the asteroid field, but the journey was far from over. The galaxy was still watching. The Lost Ones' help was a mystery. And the humans' courage was being tested again and again. Captain Sarah looked at her crew. "We are not alone, and we are not weak. We will keep going." The stars stretched before them, full of hope, danger, and the unknown. The galaxy was no longer laughing. It was watching and waiting. The great meeting hall of the Galactic Council was quiet. Around a wide table, the leaders of powerful empires exchanged anxious looks. Only weeks ago, the small human ship Pioneer was a joke. Now the whispers of its survival filled the air. Fear and uncertainty edged their words. "We cannot underestimate them now," said Emperor Fazar of the Zern Dominion, his voice low and cold. "This tiny ship survived the Crimson Nebula. How is that possible?" Counselor Shen of the Korvath Empire shifted nervously. "And they are not alone. The Lost Ones are with them. We have heard rumors. Are the humans a puppet?" The Lost Ones were a mystery in the galaxy. They had vanished for centuries. Now suddenly, they appeared to help humanity. This worried everyone. The leaders exchanged worried glances across the table. "What do the Lost Ones want?" whispered another counselor. "Do they plan to challenge us through humans?" Across the stars, on the bridge of Pioneer, the crew was busy learning. The Lost One named Visa floated near a large star map. Her many eyes glowed softly as she spoke in a gentle tone. "Place your hands here," Visa instructed Captain Lee. The captain touched a cool metal panel on the map. It began to glow beneath his palm. Visa's knowledge was a gift. The humans learned quickly. Lieutenant Mira watched closely. She spoke softly to her friend. "She taught me the map patterns. faster routes. We could dodge a supernova now if we had to. A young engineer named Patel grinned, and she showed me a way to calibrate our scanners. We can see farther into space. It's like getting new eyes. The humans were absorbing knowledge from the lost ones every day. They trained with strange devices and listened to alien stories of the stars. The stars no longer felt so empty or dark to them. On a hidden command ship, Admiral Usak frowned at the screen. A report was streaming in. The Pioneer had left the abyssal cluster and entered a new star system. With Visa, it was advancing fast. So they made it through the void sector, he growled. Those braggarts. And the lost ones are with them? He clenched his fists. What are we waiting for? He barked. Prepare the fleet. We must stop that ship before it spreads the lost one's secrets. Quietly, with all force. The hidden fleet of warships was readied, deep in the darkness. Of space, ships of the Zern and Korvath waited in silence. Their engines were cool and cloaked. Soon they would move. Back on Pioneer, Captain Lee stood beside Visa under the shimmering stars. Do you feel it? He asked quietly. Visa's head tilted, her voices harmonizing. Yes, she answered. A great danger moves unseen. We must be ready. The crew gathered in the observation lounge looking at Visa. She said, There is an ancient threat coming from beyond the rim. We are learning, but time is short. The humans felt a chill. The Lost One's words hung in the air like a shadow. Lieutenant Mira tightened her grip on the railing. We trained for this, all of us. But are we strong enough? The warship Lady Bird, a training lightship, glowed outside the window. It was a reminder of Earth, of home. Now it was their hope. Just then, an alert beeped across the bridge. Engineer. Patel called out, Commander, I'm picking up multiple ship signatures on long-range scans, not friendlies. The bridge became silent, Captain Lee's hearing. The stars were quiet, but the silence was about to break. The Pioneer floated in deep space, surrounded by blackness. But far ahead, glowing shapes were moving closer. Hundreds of ships, warships. The Empires had sent their fleet. Captain Lee stood on the bridge, staring at the screen. There's no mistake, he said. They're coming for us. Lieutenant Mira's hands moved quickly across the control panel. Signal jammers detected. They don't want us calling for help. The crew worked fast. Inside the ship, red lights flashed. Shields were powered up. Weapons, small but ready, were brought online. This was not Earth's strongest ship, but it was humanity's first hope. We're not built for war, said Engineer Patel, but we've learned enough to defend ourselves. Visa, the Lost One, stood silently at the center of the bridge. Her glowing eyes stared at the incoming ships. They want to destroy what you've learned, she said. They fear change. Captain Lee nodded. They fear us now. On the flagship of the enemy fleet, Admiral Usak barked orders. I want that human ship surrounded. Do not destroy it yet. Disable and board it. We must capture their technology and their minds. The warships spread out in perfect formation, like hunters circling prey. But Pioneer didn't run. Captain Lee gave the order. Divert power to engines and shields. Hold position. We don't retreat. The crew braced themselves. The Pioneer spun slowly, turning to face the oncoming fleet, one ship against many. Everyone thought this would be the end. Then something unexpected happened. The lights inside the Pioneer flickered, then pulsed brightly. Visa stepped forward. You trusted us. Now we give you what was hidden. A new interface appeared on the control screen, an ancient defense system from the Lost Ones, hidden deep within the ship's core. Engineer Patel gasped. This is advanced beyond anything I've seen. Mira's eyes widened. Captain, it's not just defense. It's a full battle AI. Outside, the enemy fleet closed in. Fire a warning shot. Lee ordered. A blue beam fired from Pioneer's hull. It sliced across the lead ship's shields, not destroying, but shocking them. Admiral Yusak's eyes went wide. They have alien weapons! That ship must not escape! The first attack wave began. Missiles and plasma beams raced toward Pioneer. But the ship's new defense system activated, shielding and redirecting the energy. Inside the bridge, the crew fought with focus. Visa whispered knowledge to each of them, guiding their hands. One enemy ship exploded, then another was forced to retreat. The enemy fleet hadn't expected this. Still, Pioneer was taking hits. The hull cracked, systems flickered, a fire broke. Out in the lower bay, Lieutenant Mira shouted, "Hull breach on deck 3! Seal it off!" Lee commanded. The crew moved with perfect coordination, human strength and alien wisdom working together. Then, help arrived. Out of hyperspace, 3 sleek ships appeared, ships of the Lost Ones. They had been silent until now. They joined the fight, firing beams of bright light at the enemy fleet. The sky lit up with explosions. The galaxy's empires were no longer just fighting humans. They were facing something ancient and powerful. On the enemy flagship, Admiral Yusak gritted his teeth. "Fall back! We were not ready for this." As the enemy fleet retreated, the Pioneer held its ground, wounded but alive. Inside the ship, silence returned. The crew sat quietly, breathing hard. "We survived," whispered Mira. "No," Lee said softly. "We fought back, and they know it now." Visa turned her glowing eyes to the stars. "You are no longer just explorers. You are a force, and they will come again." Captain Lee looked out into space. "Then we'll be ready." The war was over, for now. The enemy fleet had fled. The Pioneer floated in silence, bruised but still standing. Fires were gone, hull breaches sealed. But no one on board felt safe. Captain Lee walked the main deck. Crew members worked quietly, eyes heavy with fear and pride. "We beat them," said Lieutenant Mira, staring out the window. "But they'll come back stronger." Visa, the Lost One, stood beside her. "Yes, the empires now see you as a threat. That means they will not stop." In the corner, Engineer Patel was scanning the ship's systems. "We have limited time. The next attack could be massive. We need to act before they do." Lee nodded. "Then we send a message they can't ignore." The crew turned to him. "We go straight to them," Lee said. "To the capital of the Korvath Empire. Let them see us. Let them hear our voice." The room went silent. "You want to walk into their strongest system?" Mira asked. "Alone?" "We won't attack," Lee said. "We'll speak. If we hide, they crush us. But if we show strength, they'll think twice." Across the galaxy, in the cold halls of the Korvath capital, Emperor Shen paced. The humans escaped. And now they have the Lost Ones behind them. We must prepare. A general entered the room. "We've received strange signals. They're heading here." Shen froze. "They dare come to us?" The general nodded. "The human ship Pioneer. No weapons raised, no escort. They are requesting to speak." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Emperor Shen laughed bitterly. "Fools, or something more." He gave the order. "Let them come, but surround them with our fleet." Back on the Pioneer, as the ship jumped into hyperspace, the crew prepared for the worst. Visa warned them. "This path is dangerous. You may not return." Captain Lee replied, "We knew that from the beginning." The jump ended with a flash. Ahead of them, the Korvath capital system. Dozens of giant ships floated in orbit. Weapons, locked on Pioneer. "This is the Pioneer of Earth," Lee broadcast. "We come in peace, but we will not kneel." His voice echoed across the system. A reply came. Cold, sharp. "Enter slowly. Any sudden move, and you will be destroyed." The small human ship glided into the heart of the most powerful empire in the galaxy. Every being in the system watched. Cameras, drones, eyes from hundreds of worlds focused on one ship. Pioneer stopped in front of the main station, massive, metallic, and cold. Captain Lee appeared on the screens. He spoke clearly, simply. "We are humanity. You laughed when we launched one ship. You attacked us when we asked for peace. Now we stand here, not to fight, but to speak." He paused. "We survived because we learned. We grew because we believed. We are not weak, and we are not alone." Visa stepped beside him. "We are the past," she said softly, "and they are the future." Across the galaxy, people listened. On enemy worlds, in secret bases, in crowded stations, aliens heard the words of humans, and they were not laughing anymore. But in the shadows, another threat listened too. A dark figure watched the broadcast from an ancient ship buried deep in uncharted space. "They've awakened the lost ones," it whispered. "Then the time has come." Unknown to the galaxy, a forgotten power was rising, one even the empires feared, and the Pioneer had just become the target of something far older and far more dangerous. The galaxy held its breath. After the Pioneer's message at the heart of the Korvath Empire, everything changed. Humans were no longer seen as a weak new race. They were now a spark of something dangerous, something new. But not everyone feared them. Some started to hope. Across distant worlds, quiet voices whispered, "If humans can stand, maybe we can too." But deep in the darkness of uncharted space, something old was waking. A ship older than the empires moved, slowly through the void. Its surface was black as shadow, and its energy was unnatural. Inside, an ancient being called Vorak opened its eyes. "The lost ones dare return," Vorak hissed. "And they brought children with them." Aboard the Pioneer, Captain Lee stood. In the command center, a new warning flashed on the screen. "Unidentified object. Unknown energy. Coming fast." "What is it?" Mira asked, stepping forward. Visa turned pale, a strange color for her species. "It cannot be. Vorak still lives." "Who is Vorak?" Patel asked quietly. Visa looked at them. "He was the reason we vanished, the reason we hid. Vorak is not part of your war. He is part of something worse, something ancient. He consumes." The crew went silent. "He is coming for us," Visa said. "Because we brought light into the dark." The black ship appeared. From hyperspace, massive, silent, and terrifying. It did not send warnings. It did not speak. It simply drained power from everything around it. The stars near it dimmed. Korvath warships fired, but their energy vanished before it reached the target. "Captain, shields dropping," Mira shouted. "He's draining us!" "Weapons offline," Patel yelled. "Nothing is working." The Pioneer was powerless. Vorak's voice echoed across space, not with sound, but with fear. "You were a joke. Now you are a threat, so I will erase you. All of you." Then the impossible happened. From across the galaxy, ships appeared. Small, medium, civilian, military. Not just human, not just lost ones. Other species, once enemies, now allies, jumped into the battle. Ships of the Korvath, Zhern, even rogue fleets from forgotten worlds. All had heard the message. All had made a choice. To stand. Together. "They're here," Lee whispered. Mira smiled. They believed. A united fleet, something the galaxy had never seen, opened fire. This time it wasn't about size. It was about hope, but it wasn't enough. Vorak's ship absorbed the energy. Then Visa stepped forward, holding a crystal device. "There is one way," she said, "but it requires sacrifice." She handed it to Captain Lee. "It will destroy his core, but someone must fly it into the heart." Lee looked at the crew. "I'll do it," he said calmly. "No," Mira said. "You started this. Let us finish it together." Patel smiled. "We're not just crew anymore. We're family. The final flight, the Pioneer, powered by the last." Spark of energy made its final run. All around, the Allied ships fought to hold Vorak's attention. "Now!" Lee shouted.